The Shaman King series is always under a constant revision with each new publication. Even from the more recent digital edition of the manga by Kodansha, the new print editions in Japan still contain small additions. With Volume 35 finally scheduled for release in Japan this October, a new extra titled Day After Maize has been created. The original idea of the extra was to help bridge the gap between the end of the original manga series and its sequels, Shaman King Flowers and Shaman King the Superstar. This extra would be written by Haruka Takei's longtime friend Hayato Tashiro, with contributions by Takei himself as well as the editorial staff. It was never planned to be a manga, and it was only likely a couple pages in length. However, the final print volume had a significant delay from April 2021 to summer 2021, then to a final date of October 2021. This delay is likely related to the expansion of the scope and depth of this extra, as well as Haruka Takei being extremely busy. With these multiple projects, the main storyline sequel, Shaman King the Superstar, was forced to be on break while Takei divides his time. In the October issue of Shonen Magazine Edge, released on September 17th in Japan, the title of this new major extra was announced and printed within the magazine. This extra will also be included in the print edition of Shaman King Volume 35 in Japan. The cover of the issue of Shonen Magazine Edge, featuring Anna, will also be used as one of the two cover designs that will be on the print volume release. The title of the extra, Day After Maize, has multiple levels of puns related to it. The title is written in English as a reference to the phrase, day after day. The maize portion of the title is a connection to the Flower of Maize plot point that was started in the Shaman King Flowers manga. The pun is also continued in the Japanese title, where it is Day After Tomorokoshi. This is in reference to the movie Day After Tomorrow, but Tomorokoshi actually means corn in Japanese. The extra itself is a series of large drawings with a considerable amount of text overlaid, which provides insight into what happened to some of the characters after the end of the series. Some of these details were originally hinted at in the now out-of-print fan book called Mentalite, which came out after the final chapter. Since then, there has been multiple sequels and spin-offs, so some of that content has been slightly modified and other pieces greatly expanded upon. If you have not read the sequels, Shaman King Flowers or The Superstars, or any of the spin-offs, Red Crimson or Marcos, you may be surprised by some of the developments in this extra. There are many direct references that spoil key plot points as well as twists that will occur in those series. As such, before we continue on going into details on what's included in this extra, there will be spoilers mentioned. We highly recommend that you get caught up on the manga series available now worldwide in English from Kodansha USA before continuing this video. Additionally, we will not be covering all the details in this extra, so please pick up a digital copy of Shonen Magazine Edge to enjoy the extra, or import the Japanese volume when it's released. This extra will very likely be included in the Kodansha USA Omnibus print edition coming out in 2022, but those details have likely yet to be finalized. The story of Day After Maize is told from the perspective of Manta from the in-universe date of August 2014, and who provides the introduction. Manta notes that the folklorist named Hikaru Mondane, the fictional character who Takei dresses up as, appears in his dreams every night, which assists with this story. The time frame of August 2014 would line up where the story is currently at in Shaman King the Superstar, Volume 5. It is then broken up into several chapters where he reflects on past events along with foreshadowing on what is to come. The first update is with Yo Asakura and Anna along with the Spirit of Earth, who went on their honeymoon to various war zones to help with reconstruction. During this time, Hana was born, but it was decided to have him grow up in Tokyo, Japan instead. Currently, Yo is in Syria, but if you look at the image, you can see that Anna is also carrying a child. It's not clear if this is a second child, or if the date of this image is not truly from 2014, when Shaman King Flowers and the Superstar takes place. The story of Ren is consistent with the developments that happened in Shaman King Flowers and Red Crimson. It summarizes his marriage as well as the direction his company has taken in order to help improve the world without fighting. Lizard's story is also similar to the events that are described in Shaman King Marcos, where he works as a British secret agent. Within Horohoro's story, we learn some new details that were not discussed in Shaman King Red Crimson. Before seeing Ren in Red Crimson, Horohoro went to see Manta first to ask for help paying off some debts. He also later reconnected with Opacho, who was fighting against companies in Africa that were monopolizing water. He gave Opacho the Spirit of Rain to help with that cause, who still has the spirit currently. Later in the extra, we see a single image of Opacho, who has grown up with the local shamans in Africa and maintains the strength to be able to control the Spirit of Rain. Notably, Manta chooses gender-neutral pronouns when mentioning Opacho and does not specify their age. Chocolove, whose facial designs now match more closely with the anime and the English manga editions, is still in prison to pay for his crimes back in New York City. However, he works with Lizard, currently employed by the British MI6, to leave jail to go on temporary parole to help solve crimes under the codename Mr. Wind. Next, the story shifts backwards in time to some of the past events and small tidbits on their lives after the shaman fight. Tamao has overcame her hardships of her teenage years with the help of Ryu and has made her debut as an enka singer. Mikihisa was revived at the end of the series, but then was killed again in a traffic accident. Yomei, now retired, is being taken care of by his only widowed daughter, Keiko, in their family residence. He is considering turning the Asakura residence into a tourist attraction as the birthplace of Shaman King Hao, but has decided against it as there may not be too many visitors. They are also considering turning it into a cultural museum instead. The design of the estate is actually based on the real-life Uzumo Cultural Heritage Museum, which recently held a Shaman King exhibition. This is another tongue-in-cheek reference to current real-life events that fans can enjoy within the series. For the Tao family updates, it recaps most of the key outcomes from the Shaman King manga, Red Crimson. Interestingly, it looks like Lee Pyron was put back together with new stitches in the image, but the text states that he was beyond repair. The next chapter goes into the three major forces that still exist after the Shaman fight: Hao's 12 Apostles, the X-Laws, and Genthara. For Hao's 12 Apostles, most of these stories are shown in Shaman King Flowers, The Superstar, Red Crimson, and Marcos. In the title for the page with the Hanagumi, the specific word Nakayoshi, meaning friendship, was used to describe the group. The ongoing manga series Shaman King and a Garden runs in the monthly magazine Nakayoshi, featuring those same characters. Most of Pyote and Lucius' story is told in Shaman King Marcos, however some dates were provided here as well. With Pyote and Santa Murate, it lists them in the cartel's mansion in the year 2013. It also lists Lucius as being in Mexico in the year 2011. Turbine is still shrouded in mystery, but in the year 2001, he was in Lebanon and continued to stay in the Middle East. While there, he did assist Yo when he was in trouble. The Boz had flipped teams to Genthara during the Shaman fight, so they are not included as part of Hao's 12 Apostles. Since then, they have left Genthara and is focused on their music, which now has a city pop influence. With this change in music direction, they also changed their band name to Scrags. Continuing with the parody of real-life bands, this name is a parody of the current English-American singer William Boz Scraggs. The X-Law stories discuss about how they turned into a charity organization and showed the gruesome flashback shown in the manga Shaman King Marcos that took place in Jordan in 2001. When going through their individual backstories, the images used were said to be from their passports from around the year 2014. The stories about Genthara are much more limited and focus on Komeri, who has traveled to Japan in 2014, and Sati, who is in Tibet. After the Shaman fight, Genthara focuses on social welfare programs but did not make any media appearances. Manta, the author, is unsure on what happened to the team. They possibly become disbanded, but he does not know. The final chapter of the extra focuses on the new battle, which will be the Flower of Maize, that will take place as a proxy war between the 8 Shaman Kings, also known as the G8. For reasons that will become clear later, there will be no resurrections during this battle. As a preview for this upcoming battle, a group of characters are hidden in shadows with the year 20XX listed. They appear to be Hana, Men, Illumi, Gakko, and finally Yohane, who has taken an appearance closer to Hao. The extra concludes with a small bio from Manta. This extra has a lot of details that can be very fun for fans of the series. It can also help supplement the content that is shown in later sequels and spin-offs that are available now. As a reminder, this extra will be included in the Japanese print edition of Shaman King Volume 35, available in October 2021. You can also view the extra in the digital and print editions of Shonen Magazine Edge. The October issue is available now.